These are single arm, bent over, reverse fly circles. So you can see with this position, what I'm doing is I'm just keeping the dumbbell up in the air as I circle it around, keeping it in line with my torso from my hips out to the side and all the way out in front of my head and back down. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the rest of my form locked in as I hold that steady up there. Now, one rep of that is every time you get the weight through a full cycle forward and back. So if I start out to my side, I'm going to go down to my hips, out forward, back to my side. That's 1 rep. And you're going to try to keep it up there the whole time. 2 reps. 3 reps, counting them out through there till you can either finish your set or you can no longer hold it with good form. To get into this position, you can either use something like a workout bench is ideal, but if you just got something like a solid wood coffee table, something that can definitely support your weight, then just throw an exercise mat over it, give you some cushioning, and you're in business. Or you could even do it on a couch. Couch is just going to sink down a little bit lower. You're just going to have to bend your standing knee a little bit more, but that's okay. As long as what you have your knee on is not causing you to have one side of your pelvis raised above the other. Your pelvis should be level. So you might have to adjust your foot positioning, bending your knee a little bit there to try and figure that out. And then from that positioning, you're going to simply bend over at the hips, keeping, again, pelvis neutral, spine neutral to the pelvis, and then over to where I can put my hand directly below that supporting shoulder. And then from there, I'm going to check in with my head here. My head's going to be back in line with the rest of my spine. And then my shoulders, both shoulders are engaged back and down, like you're trying to get your shoulder blades into your back pockets, squeezing them back and down. Both of them are holding because one's got the dumbbell, the other is supporting your body weight. So both are going to be in good position there. So from that position, as you hold that form locked solid throughout your torso, your shoulders, your head, your hips, you just take that dumbbell, bring it up to about in line with your spine or with your torso, and you're going to hold it there as you keep it at that level down towards your hips, up in front of your head, and back like we talked about before. Now notice I'm keeping my palm down throughout this motion. If you've been instructed to do a different palm position, you can, but I would highly recommend you really just try to keep your palm down toward the ground throughout that motion if you don't know any other position to be working with through there. You can try to do some combo positions where you're starting palm down at your side or down here towards by your hips, and then as you come forward, you would end up with your palm in. So back by your hips is palms down, and then up by your head is palms in. You can transition between those two throughout the motion. If you haven't been instructed otherwise, just keep the palm down there. So that there, you're keeping that steady, elbows nearly straight throughout that motion. Keep that set. I'm even paying attention to where my foot placement is. So my foot placement, my toes are forward, and my foot is spaced out just enough so that when I bend my knee is in line with my foot there as well. I'm not too far out or too far in with that standing foot so that the knee is misaligned. Making sure that knee is in line with that foot where it's placed. Keep your form steady, take your way through. And notice as I move throughout this motion here, I'm keeping both shoulders engaged back and down so that when I get up here close to the weights in front of me, I'm not closing that space between my shoulder and my ear. I'm keeping the space open between my shoulder and my ear, even when it's forward here. So even though my arm is going forward, I'm still squeezing my shoulder blades back and down, holding that form there. So try to keep that steady. Your hand can be placed flat or on your fist here, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just keep that steady, form solid throughout this single arm, bent over, reverse fly circles.